Hello. Um, I'm going to be your teacher for Cosmology and Astrology. And if you are taking middle school chemistry or biology, um, I think you're slightly familiar with me. Anyways, cosmology, sorry, cosmology and astrology. Um, it's quite the interesting topic. So let's jump straight into it. And notice that my first videos will not be that much into detail. So um, I'll be giving like brief introductions to some of the things. So please wait. I will make sure to go in detail next time else. Okay. Okay, let's jump to the straight thing. So, box inside box, infinity, power infinity. Okay. So what I mean by this is that let's take this small box. Inside this box has Earth. Okay. And this box here is gonna be our galaxy, and that box here is gonna be our universe. Okay. But now, um, okay. So now the idea that I want to tell is that inside, um, like a planet is something else, and inside that is something else. That's the idea I want to sort of generate. And so let's first understand. Um, let's go backwards, like from the largest object to smaller objects. So let's start with universe. So what is a universe? So universe is basically all existing matter and space considered as whole. So universe basically contains everything: galaxies, stars, planet, black holes, all sorts of stuff. Okay, and the galaxy is basically a system of millions or billions of stars together with gas and dust held together by gravitational attraction. So, an example of a galaxy would be the Milky Way galaxy, which is where we are currently existing. Okay? And now, what makes up? What do you mean by a star? Okay, so basically, um, um, I'm not sure if you're familiar with how the orbits work. So, um, usually the star is in the center, okay, and then the things that orbit around the star are called planets. Okay. Now, okay, um, yeah, okay. So an example of the star would be the sun, and an example of planet would be Earth. Please make sure that you understand these definitions. You can come up with alternate definitions. I don't mind, but please make sure that you get the idea at least. Okay. Moving on. Planets in order. So, um, as I was talking about, the star lies in the center, and the planets are things that orbit it. Okay, and now, as you can see, the first planet, that's the closest planet to the sun, would be Mercury, and as the as you go to the right, the distance between the sun and that particular planet increases. Okay, and as you can see, it's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Now, some of you guys might be wondering why isn't Pluto there? Now, for Pluto is essentially a dwarf planet. It's not exactly considered a planet, so there's some interesting debates about it. I'm not really that like knowledgeable in that part, but I'm definite that Pluto isn't a planet. Okay, so now um, there's a pattern that you can recognize, and it's that um, well, if you get further away from a heat source, what how does your body feel? For example, you're standing close to a fire. Obviously, it would feel incredibly hot. But now, if you distance yourself, okay, if you distance yourself from that heat source, then it gets slightly less warmer. But now, please note that the distance between Neptune and the sun is humongous. Uh, it's it's like a lot of light years. And it's very far, and so um, from that we should know that the planets that are far from the sun, okay, are generally cold. Their temperatures are cold, okay, and Neptune would be one prime example. I mean, good example. Now, as you can see in this, there is a zone where only like there's this zone in which life can exist. And it's called Goldilocks zone, and it's usually about here. Well, for us, it's like here. Okay, wait, yeah, about like here. Okay, and let me talk about here. So Goldilocks zone is basically a habitable zone. It's the range of distance within the right temperature for water to remain liquid. Okay? So basically, in this zone, life can exist. And so far, the examples we have would be Earth, and NASA has previously discovered another planet known as Kepler 452b, which is another Goldilocks zone. But don't be too excited. It's, I mean, you can be happy about it, but then the problem is going there. It's like above 1,000 light years away, which is very difficult. Right now, we can't even travel to Mars like with a rocket. We only went to the moon. Yes, we have sent robots to Mars, but well, yeah, we haven't sent really rockets and people into Mars. It's not safe yet. We're still in the age of discovery, improvement. One day maybe you'll be able to get to there. Maybe you future people would be. Anyways, um, okay. Now, within the universe, there are several um, cosmological entities, and one of the um, entities that are often feared is um, it's called a black hole. So basically, um, you don't need to like memorize this definition. You just need to get the concept right. So black hole basically, um, yeah, black hole basically sucks in everything, and even light itself, the fastest thing in the universe, can't escape from it. So it's black hole is pretty terrifying, and if you're like sucked inside one, um, they use this term spaghettification. You become like spaghetti basically. Yeah, it's very scary, and I don't think there's gonna be any moment where someone falls into it or gets sucked into it. Hopefully, yeah. The the black holes aren't really. Most of the black holes aren't like close to us, so for the current being or time, we don't have to worry. But later on, we might have to, because there's one problem with the technology we have for the space stuff. Because sometimes, um, I believe there was this incident where there's this asteroid or meteor that NASA wasn't able to predict properly. They assumed that it would have taken a course that's like far from Earth, like a safe distance, but then out of nowhere, it was it came very close to Earth, very close. So um, our technology is not exactly perfect and accurate, as it's not as perfect. So we don't know. Maybe there is one very close to us, and we are not able to detect it, because the whole space is not even like discovered well. It's similar to our ocean. We haven't really delved down that well. What do you know? Maybe there's like some kind of weird creature that's yet to be discovered in our like in the bottom of the ocean. And the same concept goes for space. There are several things that we still don't know, but we are moving on. we're trying to learn more. And yeah, that'll be our first lesson. Thank you for listening. I will be going in detail with black holes. I'll be talking more about each of the planets in detail, and also I'll be talking about how these space missions go, and uh, like the history of them, like venturing outside the Earth, like to Moon. I'll be talking about that history. Okay, thank you for listening. Goodbye.